Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Two Shot Tuesday. It's Barry Nixon alongside the one and only Jason Riley, back with you for another update-heavy episode, but we promise new things are coming to the show. We can't say anything more about that, but new things are coming, and we're going to be changing up a couple of things, but until we do,
Yeah.
it's more of an update-heavy episode. Jason Riley, welcome back. How are you, my friend?
I'm quite well, and I treasure these episodes, Barry. These are a living
Yeah.
monument to our friendship, and I'm so glad that our fans are able to come along with us for these journeys.
Me too.
You know, as we mentioned this, and I'll just say this, we are on a march to 300 episodes. Like, we are now, 16 episodes away. So this is pretty exciting, Barry. In this calendar year, we will have done 600 shots of various liquids together.
Yeah, and I would wager that probably 550 of those were alcohol-based.
I think so. I think so.
It's probably the way it worked.
Speaking of which,
Yes,
should
sir.
we have one of those right now to kick
I
off
think
the
we
show?
should.
All
I
right.
think we absolutely should.
What have you got?
Let's begin. Jameson Black Barrel. I told you a couple weeks ago how excited I was to find it has returned to my local. So here it is. What about yourself?
Nice. And I've got just a little bit left, and I finished off the bottle of a classic Jameson that was sitting there.
Beautiful.
I enjoyed in shot format, and here it is, one of two.
Here's to you, Jay. And to
Yeah.
our audience.
Cheers. Ooh, that really gets on the
Incredibly
tongue,
smooth.
that one. I didn't
Yeah?
get over the tongue at all. Sharp. Mine is much sharper. The Black Barrel is much smoother than classic Jameson.
It really is. And it's only, I don't know, maybe $10 more.
Yeah, it's well worth it. Now, the classic's great. And when we go out,
is.
you and I always do shots of classic wherever we can.
Oh,
Happy to say the Wheat Chief now features Jameson because they didn't for a while, but they must be listening to the show and they were happy to furnish us with some last time we went and had our in-person.
That's right. I was there at the time of this recording. I was there last evening, as a matter of fact. And yes, it's still there. They love the
good.
Jameson. It is still flowing, Jay.
All right. Well, what brought you to the Wheat Chief? And was that perhaps a stop along the way as we
It was
lean
the
into... Yeah.
Yeah, it was the final stop. Besides,
Wow.
Yeah, it was
I
a
thought
good
before,
evening.
maybe. Tell me about this whole
No,
evening.
no.
Put it together, because I didn't even know
Will.
about it until like the day before when you announced it. Usually you're announcing these things months, if not years ahead.
I don't think about years ahead, but
Well,
yes, months for sure, Jay.
yeah.
That's 100%. Please excuse me. At the time of this recording, it's Tuesday. It was last evening, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
Friend of the show, friend of ours, Chris Whitby,
Yeah. Guessed.
and my buddy Brad and his wife Danielle. We went to History and saw a band called The Hives out of Sweden,
Okay.
and they were absolutely fantastic. There was a band that opened for them called The Chats from Australia. I had seen them last summer at Lee's Palace. This was the second time seeing them. They were great too. Very high energy, sort of like an Australian punk rock band.
Yeah.
And The Hives, I'm telling you, I don't think I've seen a show quite like this in terms of the consistent, amazing energy throughout the entire thing, but also the front man, his crowd work style was amazing. Like, he was cracking jokes that were actually landing. Sometimes you can get those sort of cringy moments
Yeah.
where the band talks to the audience. This guy is extremely polished, and he was, cracking jokes. And
What was he saying?
I mean, nothing really comes to mind. I can't remember, but I was laughing, and everyone was. It was just like his interaction with the crowd. He was calling people out. He was identifying people who were crowd surfing. He was ripping on his bandmates with some of his introductions were kind of over the top
Right.
introductions. The kind of thing that you are
We
familiar
might
with.
do.
With
With each other when we...
Exactly.
Yeah. We're pumping each other up. So he's doing that for his own band. Have you seen them
his-
before?
Never.
So
Never.
what made you interested in seeing the Hives?
Well, I just needed to. This was one of
Why?
those bands. It was on my list. Well, I really enjoy
Really?
their music. Yeah. They've been around a while, but yeah, they're still rocking. So it was, when the opportunity came, I had to jump on it.
All right. So take me through this experience. Now, when you got there, was there a VIP purchase? Was this general admission? Was there any VIP available?
I don't know if there was. I didn't look into it because I was with 3 other people that wouldn't have been
Yeah.
down with VIP, like the additional cost that is.
Yep.
I just didn't look. But History, there's really no bad spot.
No, I've never been.
See, and I hope to change that at some point. If a band that you find worthy to go see live, if they
Yeah.
come to History, I think we should definitely check it out because it's just really nicely laid out. It's a
Right.
great venue. There's a ton of, you know, kiosks for ordering your drinks. You can actually pop outside and have a smoke if you're so inclined. I mean, it's one of the few venues that actually allows you to do that. So it's
Now
pretty
you can
cool.
order from a kiosk?
Well, I meant like individual. It's not a kiosk,
A
but
person serving. Yeah, okay. So,
exactly.
like,
But there's
locations.
multiple. Yes, it's a
Okay,
big old bar with at least 5, 6 bartenders waiting to take your order, and they're happy to do it.
that's good.
Yeah,
All right. So you get in there, you're happy. Is there much waiting beforehand? Because that can
none.
spoil a concert. Oh, great. So you got right in.
Breezed right in. Jay, you would have loved it
That's
for that.
what I love. I love to
Yeah.
breeze in. I don't like to be I don't like to be waiting. I've paid money. You get this. We paid money to be there. Why are you holding us up outside of there? So this is great. To hear that you breezed in, that makes me relieved for you, that you're ready to enjoy the whole experience.
There was one strange thing, though, I will say.
Aha.
There was like a pre-screening before you actually get to going through the metal detector, and the guy asked to see my keys, and I handed him my house keys. He
Yeah.
examined them, and then he said, "Oh, you got your wallet on you?" I said, "Yeah, of course." So he asked to see my wallet, and he actually opened my wallet and noticed and looked in there and saw that there was cash in there, and he handed it right back to me. But I've never in my life had anyone search my
No,
wallet, so
never.
I thought that was interesting.
I've been
Yeah.
to some clubs where they will check your wallet because they want to see if you may have some paraphernalia stashed in there that
I
should
understand the
not be.
reason for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
you did get that. You didn't think you just wanted to look through some pictures of yours, make sure you had up to date driver's license.
Grab a
Just
50 out of my wallet. No, I didn't
yeah,
think he was trying to rob me. I had never seen
actually
that
check.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wonder if they've been busted recently, and so now they have to do a check. That could be
That's
why. They have to
entirely
demonstrate that
possible.
they're, working hard to keep everyone safe from the the evils of drugs.
Baggies. Yeah. Baggies of
Yeah,
cocaine.
baggies of
Yeah.
drugs specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
So you
Yeah.
get
It
in.
was no big
So there's
deal.
the pre-screen, you get to the screen, now you're in. I need to know about the merch table. Did you make it to the merch table?
Of course. Yeah. I didn't buy
And
anything, but I did
really?
look at what was on offer. Yeah. It had
What
just
was?
been, I'd had an expensive weekend away in Ottawa. That's
Yeah.
another
Tell
story.
us about
So
that.
I was
Yeah.
like, do I need to? I don't think I needed to. I enjoyed the show, though.
Was
High
there
energy.
could there
Great.
have been a coffee cup? I could have seen you buying a coffee cup. That would have been hard to keep around you, but I could see that, a coffee cup of the hives.
That's probably the last thing in the world that I would buy. I'm
I
sorry.
know.
I know you want me to yes and you and say, yeah, I would have got a thermos. I would have got a lunch pail, whatever they
Nice.
had.
A
Yeah.
plastic lunch pail with the flip up
Yeah.
sippy cups. I love those.
They were great.
So
But that didn't have that on
yeah.
offer. No.
So the chat started and you saw
Chats.
them with the chats and you saw them with Rob Peets, I believe, last time, right? Did you talk about it on the show?
It was a different Rob Farad.
Rob Faraz. Okay, so we didn't talk about it on the show, but you did see it with
Yeah.
Rob Faraz.
Yeah, that
So
was
you
at
went to
Lee's
see them
Palace
again.
last summer.
Did they play a lot of the same stuff or did they have any new stuff?
Yeah. To me, it all sounded new, Jay, because
Okay, great.
to cast my mind back to last summer, it's to try to identify, remember a set list is a
Okay,
lot to
well,
ask of any
I
man.
see. So this isn't a band that you've been following the chats necessarily,
Not necessarily.
not tuned
Yeah.
into every song. Okay, because
Not every song.
you're like I love the chats. I love
But they were great.
the way they interacted with the crowd, the hives, but can't recall really much of it at all. But
Oh, I can recall, but I can't
Yeah.
recall the set lists and
Okay,
the name of the songs.
okay,
The chats are a little too, new for me to be able to drill that down.
all right,
Regardless, they were great. The whole evening was fantastic. It really was.
terrific. All right, the hives come out, and that's all. Last thing I want to hear about. The hives come out. They play for about how long? Yeah,
Let's
a
see.
lot
They
of
took the stage around
gaps.
9. They played until at least 10:40 because the
Nice.
interesting thing in history is they will continue to serve as long as the band performing wants them to. So the band said, you can keep serving until 10:40, and that was how we kind of were able to sniff out that that's when they're wrapping up, including
Okay.
their encore, which was cool. So they kept the bar open for the entire show. And not every band does that, but they did, and that was appreciated.
I wonder why you wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why
And
do
it was
they
a Monday
care?
night. It was a pretty good
Yeah.
crowd for a Monday night too. It wasn't sold out, but it took a little bit of warming up. But the front man of the Hives certainly got the crowd whipped up eventually. But it took a little bit of because it's the classic Toronto crowd, right? A lot of people and an older crowd, skewed a little bit older.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about that was Chris Whitby and I also noticed this that there was barely any phones out at all.
Nice.
People were actually just enjoying the
Nice.
show.
That's what
Yeah,
you want. Yeah,
that's
I
what you
hate
want.
that.
I do too. It takes you
Like,
right out of it.
It does. And it's like, why? Like somebody's got a better seat than you, most likely, and they'll put their shit up on YouTube. So you can watch it later. Just enjoy the
If you
show
need to.
live. If you
Yeah,
need to. I don't
yeah,
know why you want shitty sound. You've got Spotify for great sound. You're there live. You're not going to get a better picture.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
I
It
agree.
doesn't make sense. So I'm glad to hear you and Mr. Whitby got to enjoy that. And then finally, you wrapped it up at the Wheat Sheaf. All four of you went?
Nope. For Brad and Danielle, it was a regular work day. I
Okay.
booked
There you
ahead.
go.
I wanted to set up future me for success, and so that
Yep.
involved taking a vacation day. Excuse me, Chris Whitby didn't have to work until 5 p.m. today, so it worked out great. He drove us back to the Wheat Chief, and there was only like 4 or 5 people sitting at the bar, but we
Nice.
ended up chatting with them. And this has been a thing lately, and I've told you about this, having random conversations with people.
You
I
like
ended up
that.
talking to some couple from Collingwood at the show last night, right at the very end, which was kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's a challenge, to try to interact with randos. Like, why
Okay.
not? Let's just experience the rich tapestry of humanity.
Maybe you'll teach me about that someday.
Yeah, I'm just
All
learning
right.
myself, Jay.
So you enjoyed that show. Let's
did.
do shot number 2. And then there's
Yep.
one other big life event that happened to you just days before that we want to cover
Huge.
off on. Okay.
Yeah. Let's get into it. I'm
Jameson.
going back. Yeah, you got the Jameson? Okay, I'm
Yep.
sticking with Jameson too, but with the black barrel.
Nice.
Here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's sharp. Man, it's so sharp. Like little knives. But great. But in a good way.
This is interesting because usually your second shot is way smoother, but it looks like both of yours
Yeah.
today were a little bit a
Yeah.
little rough.
I'm still feeling it traveling down my esophagus right now, which is
That's
great.
good.
Okay. All
As long
right.
as it's heading south, that's the important thing.
Let's hear about your annual trip. You've talked about it on the show every year
I have.
to Canada for your Leafs Senators hockey game that for some reason is always on a Saturday night. I feel like this one is
Always.
a planned one at this time of year.
Exactly right. I guess that's just how the hockey gods align the schedule. But the Leafs are typically, we've never been there for a Friday night game. It's always been Saturday.
It must be done on purpose. And it's always this time of year, like it's in March.
Well, last year was February, but yes, it's later in the year typically that they will come back. Later in the season, I should say. It was a great time. This was by far one of the most immersive fan experiences that I've ever had because of the seats that we were able to get. Brad and I went, and we sat behind the net. We were only 4 rows from the glass, so row D, right on the aisle, which is where you want to be. And I'm telling you, Jay, like we were looking through the glass the entire game, and all the action is unfolding like just spitting distance from where you're sitting.
Yeah.
Every time there was a hit and you saw guys getting stapled to the glass and you could see their faces turn towards you and you could see the skin, their cheeks getting rubbed up against the glass. It was wild. And you felt every one of those hits. I was like, holy shit, I didn't take my eyes off the game. Because when you're sitting further up, you can kind of look around the stadium and your eyes maybe can wander a little bit. It eliminates
like
that. Yeah, it's like having blinders on and you're seeing everything. It was really great. Like, honestly, I kept talking about how good the seats were to Brad. He's like, I know, I'm sitting right here. Eventually, he was like, okay, enough about the seats. We know the seats are good. They're good seats. I was like, yeah, but they're really good seats. Do you feel those hits? He's like, yes, I feel them. Anyway, I was just over the moon. It was worth every penny. Even though the Leafs are not in the playoffs at the time of this recording, and maybe the Ottawa Senators aren't going to be either, but it was still a fun time. And the Leafs, unfortunately, did not win, but we were chatting with people at the game as we normally do. We were talking to the people in front of us, beside us. Everyone was kind of like, throwing little, like barbs at one another. And as Brad and I were walking home, we were getting chirped like crazy. There were people chirping at us from their vehicles as they drove by us as we were walking back to the hotel. But it was all in good fun. It was not like, throwing F-bombs at you. It was just like, just good-natured ribbing between two fan bases. I think that's the only way to say it.
That's good. Did you go to that bar that you went to? Was it last year, the year before? There's like one bar that you posted up in. Maybe it was the night before. Maybe I'm forgetting.
Well, there's not a lot of options in Canada.
No,
I will say. We went to Milestones on the Friday night, but after the game, we went to Jack Astor's. And yes, I did have the chicken tenders. As we know, that's rock solid ordering right there. On the side.
Yes, of course. For you on the side. You like
got to be on the side for me, Jay.
Yeah.
But it was great. And we were chatting with people at the bar there too. It was like a lot of like random interactions with people in the last, well, I guess the weekend and at the show last night. It's the last like 72 hours. It was pretty cool.
I mean,
and the fans in Ottawa are really fun. They're great people.
And as an extrovert, that fuels you up. Like you love a random chat with someone you don't know and you get to know them and you ask good questions
This is
and
so
you
funny.
ask of them to come
I do
back to
ask
you
it.
with good questions.
I do ask questions. I do like to lead with questions. That's usually
Yeah.
what gets people their defenses down versus
Yeah.
just spewing information at somebody. But you know what? You're funny. This is just a new
I
thing.
am.
This is something that this is something that Linda has actually kind of implemented. She told me at the start of the year she had a goal to have a certain number of random conversations throughout the year. And that kind of inspired me to say, yeah, why wouldn't we do that? Why can't we be a little bit more friendly? Because Toronto it's a little harder. It's thought of as a bit of a more reserved, a little maybe a touch colder. Not cold as
Yeah.
in hostile, but just like maybe not necessarily interested in a random conversation. But
Yeah.
lately, people have been all up for
Yeah.
it. So I think that's maybe something people need now. I don't know.
I think so.
Maybe.
And
It's fun
may
though.
I say, and I just love this. This is what I love about like it's a classic executive producer Linda LeBrun. It's like a structured goal to have random conversations. I
Yeah.
can appreciate that so much. It's like you
Yeah.
put structure to randomness. Like not everyone can do that. She, I imagine, pulls it off
She does.
flawlessly. And so
She
you've come
does.
along for the ride. But you always like to chit chat. Like you're fueled up by your extroversion.
Oh, well, that's nice of you. I do that more so like when I'm on vacation. Anytime we've been south,
Yeah.
random chats all the time. It's a lot
Yeah.
easier. And like also when we went out east in Eastern Canada, there's certain parts of Canada that are much more chatty, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't necessarily say Southern Ontario is a chatty hotspot, but it's maybe becoming one. I don't know. This is new. This is new for me, but
If
it's
it
fun.
is, it's because of you and Linda
Yeah,
making it so. Barry,
right.
like this has been a lot of updates from you, and I'm glad that you've had these
Quite a
great
bit.
experiences in literally the last 72 hours. You've
It's
amassed
been fun.
memories for one regular person's lifetime. So for you, it's about 20 minutes of memories because
Yeah.
you are, of course, massive in your presence and massive in the things that you hope to accomplish. And that's all I've got to say about that.
Thank you.
Barry, I'm going
That's
to
quite,
pick up
quite
some of the
something.
slack next week. Maybe I'll have some
Thank
updates
you.
as well. I know we've got some big things on the way. We've got some more movie reviews coming. But for our fans, I know they're always excited. The cards and letters that come in wanting to hear about your annual Canada trip, like we can barely fill the cards and letters room. Like we're going to have to get a second trailer, I think, for those. And now they're going to want to hear about your concert goings just as much as I do. All right.
Yes, that's good, Jay.
All right.
Bring us in for a landing.
Have a great night. Fans, we'll see you again next week.
Absolutely.
Please talk about the episode, share the episode if you like it. And we always want to hear from you. So you can always leave a comment on our YouTube channel. That's always there for you. All right. See you next week.
See you, Jay.
Thank you for listening to Two Shot Tuesday. The show is produced by Barry and I and edited by me. If you have yet to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, please take a second to do so now. It helps us grow, and it helps new audiences to find the show. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Two Shot Tuesday, and on Twitter at Two Shot Tuesday Podcast. Stop by, give us a follow, leave us a comment, and share your favorite episodes. If you have a question you'd like featured on the show, you can send us a text at 647-486-4848. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.